Hey, hey, how's everyone doing? Welcome to
I wonder how many
another.
people are in NYC right now and just like on their phones listening in.
Yeah, you'd be curious to know. I know Woozy's in NYC. Maybe he's on his phone. You can tell us how the event was. Hope everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Meet up with the community. I guess for those like who are joining in on one of these first time, um, it's similar to the Twitter Spaces
Hmm.
that we host um, every 3 weeks, except it's a bit more intimate because it's Discord only. It really is like a free fall in terms of like if anybody wants to come up, ask any questions. We've already collected questions throughout. Uh, there's like a post that went out yesterday, so we'll be going through some of those. If anyone wants to like, if you'd prefer to just type it out in Cabana Bar, definitely feel free to just do that. Otherwise, feel free to request up, and then we can just go through things, give an update on where things are at, and yeah, and go through those questions as well. Anything I've missed now?
No, that's pretty much the flow of the Discord aim is, yeah, just taking in questions, answering them, and if anybody wants to come up and just even just hang out with us, chill, talk about anything really. The space right now as well. I know there's a bit of movement in the space, so we can chat
Yeah.
about that.
Uh,
um,
everyone's throwing their hats in the air, eh, with ETH pumping
yeah.
and Bitcoin. Um, it's
It's crazy
I was
how quickly
actually
it
just
happens.
watching. Yeah, I know. I was just watching this clip from like Warren Buffett. Um, and it's wild, but I guess these things always repeat, right? Like, in with the new, out with the old. But
Mm.
just in terms of, how like skeptical people get and how um like I guess just in like how people fud things they don't really understand and maybe don't want to understand or are too old to change. But
Mm.
um I mean it's like everybody here knows it, so I'm preaching to the converted, but like the need for crypto. It's I was having a chat actually with my dad about I mean obviously like what's happening in Syria and like Lebanon
Mm.
with the currencies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
um and I don't even know what the value is right now of like a lira, but and I think that's like Lebanese as well, but they use it in Syria too. But it used to be
Right.
like compared to the US, it was like 1 for 2, and now, yeah, it's something insane, right? It's just that like hyperinflation, right? And then
Mm,
like you
crazy.
see this and like, yeah, and it's like so for them, like crypto is definitely, especially with like a new generation of people who are like online first, right? It's like
Mm.
fuck, I'm not gonna go and can exchange paper money, but if I can convert it and not lose all of my assets, like
It's crazy how
just
that
that
happens.
alone. But yeah, just an interesting thing that
Mm. It's
yeah,
crazy the
on the side.
perspective as well on like when things are trending a little bit downwards. It's like everyone's perspective just changes immediately. Like it has that flow on effect to everybody in the space, and everyone just feels like, oh, things are going bad, things are going bad. But as soon as it's like a little bit of bump, it's like everyone's excited at the same time. It's just like yeah, the change in perspective is interesting to see within the space, how quick it can change with a few things going right. So mm,
Yeah, that for sure.
cool.
um cool, we'll go through
Yeah, the
the
questions.
questions that we had from before. Yeah, cool. All right, which one should we start with?
Let me just
What
bring
was
up.
first?
First on the list we have.
And I guess just so before we
Mm,
jump into that as well, like I guess just a quick update on what's been happening since, um, where we've pretty much finalized the agreement with the Ordinals,
mm,
go to market launch partner. Like we were saying before, and I appreciate everybody's like patience with this as well. We could have just done it ourselves, right? Like the thing's already inscribed, and I know some people like cheekily saw, on the Ordinal scanner. The way it works, just a bit of context, the way it works on Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, it's a bit different. And this goes back to, if you remember me saying about how on Bitcoin you inscribe rather than mint, meaning you put the actual data on one of these satoshis, and that happens during that inscription process. So you can almost think of it as like what you're able to do is literally just write on one of these like little pieces of Bitcoin, and you write the or draw the image on it, right? And it's like so that's what we're doing. Whereas with ETH, when you mint it, you're minting it because it's almost like you're going to this factory that's this smart contract, and you're like, hey, I'd like to get one of these lazy lines, and there's 10,000. Like, okay, give me the the 0.05 ETH or whatever it was at mint, and in exchange, at that time, we'll mint it into existence. That's why it's called minting, right? That's the difference. So it's like because it's a smart contract and it's like this factory, right? Like we don't show you which line it is until you get, until the 0.05 ETH, and then that smart contract automatically then gives you that image, right? And we're able to do that because of all the funky code and Ethereum, because it's like this one big virtual machine, the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, and like it's a big, it's like a big computer. Whereas Bitcoin, even though it's pretty cool that we can inscribe, we have to do it immediately. So as soon as we inscribe it, anyone who's a bit cheeky, or not even that cheeky, because you can just go on ordinals.com, you could see what's been inscribed, right? And obviously we need to do it before we go go to launch. So, the images are revealed. I would say, like if you're not in a rush, anyways, just wait to see when we actually post it out officially. But I know some people get really excited, so it's a bit different to Ethereum. So just wanted to clear that up in case anyone was like, "Hey, like the images were leaked out or something like that." It's just the way it works. Um,
Yep.
but the way we're taking it, the cool thing is with this launch partner, they're actually going to randomize which ones are given out, which is pretty cool. And this is what I mean. Like the tech is being built in real time. And it's a big marketplace that we're going with. I'll wait till we actually announce it. Um, but which is good because we wanted to make sure it was like a safe, comfortable user experience that people are used to, for the 80 who have those ordinals and also for trading purposes later on. Um, so yeah, they're going to randomize it. So whoever goes to claim those 80. And we're also looking at there was one that was like someone tried to do something cheeky. You may have seen it on Twitter, and he like inscribed. We had a good idea from the community. We're just going to claim that one as the two that were reserved for the community wallet. That'll just be just in case, we don't want to. I don't. It doesn't make a difference at all, really. But even still, we'll just keep that one for the community wallet. Why not? Doesn't make a big difference. Um, so yeah, that's a bit of an update on that with the ordinal stuff. Like we're really just we're at the point of just finalizing what tweets are going out and things like that. Hey, no.
Yeah, literally just the comms piece around. We just want to ensure
Yeah,
that there is the right support as well for the people that are actually claiming these
that's true.
ordinals. So the process is super smooth. So yeah, last minute
Exactly.
finalization
And
things.
yeah, and like we were saying before, like if there's ever any like, and this is all going to be communicated as well. If anyone needs like any help or like there's no like we're moving into a new blockchain with this, right? So it's like there's no silly questions at all.
Mhm.
There is like obviously these things are valuable assets as well. So, take the time, feel free to ask questions. We'll be posting up like the right help documents and things like that that are official too. So should be a fun time. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited to like get these actually like properly launched. Um, and
yeah,
obviously what will happen is whoever has that mint pass, like we mentioned, we'll post out the full details, but you'll redeem that mint pass and be burnt. So if anybody wants to trade these mint passes, I think that probably wasn't communicated. Like you can. It's whoever has the mint pass and then redeems it for the owner, right? So those mint passes do have value right now in terms of trading, right? Because they'll be redeemed for the actual ordinal later on.
yep,
Cool.
exactly.
And we've already seen a couple of a few of these trades. Um,
Cool. Guess we can kick off the questions.
cool.
Great. So the first question is coming in from the laziest lion. So it's just about rewards. They're asking when is it going to go live and if we're able to get a firm date on the launch itself.
Not a firm date. I showed this during the last when we did the random giveaway. Um, I'm happy we could probably even share the screen. We can't do it on stages, sorry, but like we have the designs for rewards and we've coded it up as well, and it looks pretty good. We just didn't. It wasn't like delightful, and so we didn't want to like rush it out to get it out before the end of last month because obviously we had Glitch's Army Dark Energy, which was like a huge project in itself, and we got it out in like record time as well. And like overall, it went really smooth. Um, there was a lot involved there. Uh, the other thing is like we've taken the time, we were thinking about this. It's been requested a lot. It's been requested a lot, and we've seen other projects do this, and it's just one of those things that I think like on reflection, it's an important part of any NFT project. And we had this quite a bit with rewards, but um, like with the initial rewards, anyways. But do we look at one of the feedback pieces that we've gotten a lot is like, what? is, like all these other projects have like these incentive structures set up where it's like, if you stake the NFT, then you're able to get these tokens or you're able to unlock um, other NFTs in the future and things like that. I have my views on these, which like I've shared as well, but I think there is a fun way
Mm,
that we can do things that I've seen, I think it was like might have been Meme Land.
mm,
But there are other projects who have done this as well, where like there's like almost like a dynamic NFT, and there's like a dynamic reveal, and things get upgraded as you stake. And there are like some projects who haven't done this so well, but we've been thinking about like, and there are like some cool ideas that have been brewing about how we could do this. Um, so yeah, and there are other benefits as well to this, obviously too. So we're looking at like, do we potentially include that with rewards? Um, and if we do, it'll take a bit more time, but I think it'll be worth it. So that's like the stage we're at. Like we're like, having meetings about that right now, about thinking about how to do that best. So um, yeah, I guess that's the latest update. If anyone wants to see the designs as well, I mean, we can't screen share here, can we?
I think there might be an option. It says I don't know if they've added it, but I do see an option to share your screen down the bottom. I don't know if you're able to see that, but
Really?
I remember it was an issue. That's why we always did the voice calls, but it seems like they might have added it to the
Okay.
stages.
I'm
Um,
uh I'm on my phone, so I'll
ah,
jump back onto the computer at the end of this, I guess.
cool.
Just remind me, then we can show everyone what rewards looks like.
No problem.
Looks really cool.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, great. So we have a question from GB. This one was just, have you reached out / connected with Galaxy Fight Club regarding IP integration into their mobile game? They said they are very interested. Um, King, I've seen the ticket that you created as well. Someone from the team will reach out and get more information from you on that. But yeah, I mean, for any collabs that come through, we're always open to reviewing them. And if if it's a positive for Lazy Lions, then we can obviously, we can always look into that. But I'll get back to you in the ticket actually to get more information from you
Mhm.
there.
Cool.
Great. We got another question from the North Shore. Can we get a status update and a few high-level bullet points on some of the accomplishments since the last AMA and immediate plans
Hmm.
and things that are going to be done before the next AMA?
Yeah. Um, that's a good question. So I mean, obviously the last Discord AMA was 6 weeks ago. We've had obviously the Twitter spaces in between there every 2 weeks, and I think we've had a bit more with like other community. Um, not
Understandable.
other community ones, but the Binance and the launch and stuff like that as well. Yeah, that was a big thing. I mean, the biggest thing was Glitch's army, Dark Energy, right?
Yeah.
The and the generals. That was definitely a lot of time, effort in the collaboration with OpenSea as well. The fact that it brought on new members into the
Mhm.
Discord, and new people into the ecosystem, which obviously is fantastic. Um, so that was really good. And the feedback from community, not just feedback, but like in terms of that NPS survey that we do, which I know is always a bit corporate and a bit gross, but like it's a good it's a good metric. So
Mhm.
like that's increased like a fair bit from I think it went up like 16 points or something like that. Which
Yeah.
says that like overall people in the community like really appreciated that. For sure there were like a few things here and there that we got feedback on that we could improve for next time. I spoke about this on Twitter, and like we will. Um, at least like we're definitely focused on
Yeah.
improving on those things.
Part of
Yeah.
I guess part of the Glitches army as well was also growing the team. Ash, I know you
Yeah.
shouted out a few people on Twitter
Hmm.
as well that had joined us. They obviously played a big impact in how M80 was actually released. The quality of it. And just to rattle off a few, there was a 3D video animator George, the UI designer Marco, and the full stack blockchain developer Murad,
Hmm.
who have joined the team. So since the last AMA, we've brought on some good additions to the team that we think will really, help us, take it to the next level. So,
Yeah, and I mean, like important to note there as well, like George, like specifically as well, like we're just like
yeah,
contractor
yeah,
kind of, working when required because it's not like full time creating 3D video animations for us. Even though like there is more work and obviously like loves working with us and um, it was like great work that he did as well, but just isn't a requirement to be like full time
yeah, correct.
3D videos the whole time. But yeah, on Marco Murad working with great. Like yeah, that's really positive additions for sure. And it should I think give confidence that like if if people enjoyed the quality of Glitch's army, then like expect that quality and some for the future things. That's what I would like. That's the bar that we're holding to, and I mentioned this on Twitter as well, which I think is super positive. The big thing for on reflection was like, there were a ton of these positives, but something like the area that we missed the mark on, and this is a big focus for us in Q2, is like increasing the like reach of Lazy Lions, and like especially from like the there's like if you look at it as in like segments, right? There's the Lazy Lions community, and then you've got that includes bungalows, cubs, like pretty much the ecosystem. Then you've got people who are like following the accounts, like there's the Discord, Twitter. There's like 100,000 people plus. Like there's that, and that's like our reach. And then you could also extend it and say everybody in the community who talks about Lazy Lions. There's that reach as well. And if you look at things like NFT Inspect, it gives you like a metric as to what Lazy Lions reach is, and I think it's like at 8%, meaning like, but like their metric, it's like 8% of NFT Twitter has been exposed to our collection. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great, and we can be doing better at that. And I think that's an important one because we saw that with Glitch's Army. Like obviously it was like a really high quality release, but if we don't get enough eyes on this, and that's what that was a lot of the feedback that we got too, like critical feedback was getting even more people to enter the ecosystem. And yes, there were like I think it was 900 when I looked at the numbers. Of course, some of those will be holders with multiple dark energy. Like it was 900 people who didn't have 900 wallets that didn't have any other Leafy NFTs that now had dark energy.
Hmm.
And most you imagine would have merged for the leaderboard as well. So it was still a good amount of new members that came in for sure. But we could be doing even better, and we should be. And that's a big goal for Q2. It's increasing that reach from the rest of the Web3 community. And like yeah, that's really the main goal for Q2. So that's yeah. So there was Glitch's Army, um, the team. What else have we worked on? Obviously, we still worked on rewards. That hasn't come out yet, but um, mentioned like it's looking really good, and we're looking at introducing potentially further incentives and staking or soft staking. Um, and then the other things that we want to do, like moving forward for Q2, besides that big focus, obviously, of increasing demand from new members, and that has a few things in it, right? Like we got to hire for a few more key roles. Going to be posting out these job ads over this next week. I mentioned this on Twitter. There's a few roles from like different positions, marketing. That's one that we need. Growth marketer didn't work out. We brought on quite a few people, I think, obviously, like in the last month or two, with like we mentioned with Marco with the UI, who's been killing it. Murad with the smart contract developer, like developed probably the most intense contract I've seen. And I remember when we showed it to, like Quit and like some other people as well who looked at the contract. Some audited it. Some just had a look and they're like, wow, this is like crazy gas optimized. And we saw that when people actually used Glitch's Army. So did a fantastic job there. And um, obviously with George as well. But yeah, so the marketing we need like that's an area that we need to bring on some people to the team, which is exciting. Um, as well as a few other like smaller roles, and we are looking at like a head of creative. I mentioned this before, like a creative director. Um, like that's a position where we sort of thinking like the quality of Glitch's Army was pretty high, and especially with Marco and George and just like the level that we were able to get there. But we do still think like a head of creative could take us to that next level as we're thinking about um, like more animated shorts, more content. Um, so yeah, filling in those roles.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, none. Have I missed anything?
No, you pretty much, yeah, other than we have, a couple of extra focuses for Q2 is, which you touched on, is finding, those people, building the right connections, and creating products that help us achieve our goals and vision. I know you've been dabbling a little bit in like, AI, and yeah, it's something that we are exploring at the moment. Nothing set in
Yeah.
stone, but just something that we're looking into. So finding the right products that fit our brand and our vision is also, included in that.
Mhm.
Great. Um, Move on to some more questions. We've got PV Fortune. Um, Hi, I'm new to the NFT world, and with my limited knowledge in this field, I'm slowly getting into the space. On my way, I joined here with my Lazy Lions fam. A few days back, I minted two Dark Energy tokens. I'm still holding both and not sure what to do next. I would like to be part of the fam though. Anything else I need to do with my tokens? Um, that's pretty much the question, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like like we were mentioning before, with like new members who come in. I mean, it's great to have you in the community. Um, in terms of like the future use cases for dark energy, I mean, Glitch, like going into the store, it has like hinted a few times now, like that dark energy will be used for
Mhm.
um, it looks like what might be the rest of his future army. Um, yeah, dark energy holders as well will receive raw points during the release of Rewards 3.0, and these are going to be backdated these points. So like even though not everyone's going to have access, like it's not released just yet, everyone's still accumulating points during this time as well. So um, yeah, we're sure that Glitch has other things in store for Dark Age, but we'll wait and see for what that is. The other thing is, I would say like look at the rest of the ecosystem, right? Like if you're in with Dark Energy,
Mhm.
you know that you can get extra points with Lazy Lions, Lazy Cubs, Bungalows. Like I'll definitely have a look, recommend having a look at that. Yeah, full sets is an important part of the ecosystem as well. So that could be fun trying to collect one of those sets, or getting a line, and then if you get a juice, which is the lazy drinks, or milk, then you can generate the matching set there. So yeah, that would be a fun
Mhm.
recommendation, I would say.
Great. Cool. Got a, I guess not so much a question, just stating the times of these AMAs, just to suit it more to the European time zones. That was from Advanced Out.
Mm.
It's more, I guess, in terms of these AMAs, they are recorded. So this one is being recorded right now. And I guess with the purpose of the AMA, Ask Questions channel, it's so that we can, gather questions and harness them before we jump on the calls, and then it'll be recorded and you can listen back to it. So even though you missed out on this AMA, you'll be able to listen back and your questions will be answered if you ask them in the AMA channel. But actually, yeah, what do you think about maybe sometimes accommodating to the Europe times, just so they can be part of it and be part of the the crowd, the community as well.
For sure. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like this is definitely something that's like we've noted before, and we do have spaces that like fall on times that aren't so great for the US as well.
Mhm.
Like if I look back, I think it was the Binance one or something
Yeah.
like in the past month or so.
Yeah.
That was a bit better for Europe. Um, this one I see is like yeah, like for sure, it'd be great to have more people on,
Mm.
like from all over, like right, like more Lazy Lions community members. Sorry, like being able to for everyone to have a chance to join in. Um, yeah, I would say like with always, where we schedule, like let's try and schedule it where it makes sense, and with the AMA as well, because we're taking questions beforehand, it sort of mitigates that. Even though it'd definitely be cool to have, um,
Mhm.
yeah, like community from Europe join in as well and other places.
Yeah. Cool. Ryan Litt is asking for more clarification how DE will be used for raw points, or how it will be used for rewards 3.0. But I guess you sort of touched on that just before. But if you want to,
Yeah, pretty
yeah,
simple. You'll just be receiving raw points based on the amount of dark energy.
yeah, cool. Got a question from Dodadu. He's asking for more details on the ordinal mint. Um, I know you touched on that
Yeah,
one earlier as well, but
yeah,
yeah,
pretty much like we mentioned, more details on the order movements. Like they'll be coming soon, because we're finalizing plans with the. Well, I mean, they're pretty much finalized. We're just finalizing comms, which is, I guess, exactly what this question is asking about. So,
mhm,
um, expect to hear in the next week because this is pretty much when it'll be going down. So,
yeah,
very soon.
yeah, excited for that one too.
Yeah.
Uh, Got a question from PLC King Lion. Are you guys open to collabs with another Lion project to give the Cubs more utility? I guess similar to the other person who also asked about collabs. Feel free to open a Ticket King and give us some more information. I can take a look into it, um, and then yeah, if it makes sense, then we can look into it. But
Cool.
definitely open up a ticket. Cool. We got Crypto Kenda. any insight on how the backdated reward points will be distributed? Will there be a vesting period? What anti-dumping mechanisms will be built into the rewards program? Will there be raffles and other ways to spend the token?
The raw points, like, because this isn't going to be, but the raw points will convert to raw token later on, right? Which is the ERC20 token. So I think there might be a little bit of confusion there. So that's not till later down the line when we drop the token, which will be at a more optimal time, right? Um, so that's not really an issue now.
Yep. Cool. Got a question from Wood. Clearly, Ash has been having some fun dabbling in AI recently. The images have been pretty cool. The apps I have messed with aren't that great. Can you
Yeah.
share what tools you're using, and is it
Mhm.
something that anybody can mess around with?
This is actually, like shame on me a little bit. I've been messing around with AI a lot, more so ChatGPT than anything else.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I have been messing around with Midjourney as well, but those images were created from people by the team. So, just taking credit, for it. But
Great.
uh, look, I agree with you. I think they look fantastic. Like, to be honest, like really good. I'm sure there are like little things like the mouth looks a bit sketch and the ears, and I don't know what happened to my guy's eyebrows. And his belly was a bit, like, come on. I mean, I know I had a lot of tacos when I was in the US, but really, did me a little bit dirty there. The I like, the rate at which AI is like being developed right now, it's very exciting. And, I've mentioned this before. I think like, the intersection of AI, NFTs, Web3 brands, right? With our goal of getting on the big screen. And it's like, that inherent problem of, not problem, but it's more an opportunity of like, everybody owns the IP. That's a big part of it. But the question has always been, how can we utilize this IP as well? And it's like, sure, like, the official, like, not even the, I hate using the word official because like, like we definitely encourage and need like, community generated content as well, for sure. Like it even irks me a little bit, I think, with like the, when we shouldn't be referring to like unofficial, like clubs or trait communities like within the Lazy Lions community. Like it should all really just be like it's just part of Lazy Lions, right? I know why, because sometimes we get a little bit, like when like, we can't be like people try to hold the team accountable for the actions of the 8,000 plus holders across Lazy NFT, so that's not fair. But like a core part of it is like it's decentralized IP. And so, content that like anyone creates for any Lazy Lions character, the idea is it helps the whole brand, right? And of course, like no one can use it for like hateful, racist kind of, the standard shit that nobody would want to see anyways. But otherwise, we should be encouraging that content. And we can definitely do a better job of that. And that's what we're thinking about with the new website as well, with the strategy and even just like I mean, part of the Q2 goal, right, to increase reach. We think that could be an exciting thing to do. But then, yeah, it goes back to like, how can community members create content if that's not, like what they do, right? And it's like not everybody's like a, graphic designer
Mm.
or, 3D animator or whatever it is. But then it's like these tools, these AI tools, like increase the bar and allow pretty much everybody to be like, an 8 out of 10 kind of in that regard. Of course, like, I've said this before, I don't think it'll ever replace, like, I don't think it's, these like, it doesn't replace that human touch that, artists and all that provide. But it definitely has, I think, its place as well. So,
Mhm.
it's something that we're looking at. It's important. Our core focus for Q2, like we said, is increasing demand from new members. Um, and part of that is a big content play. Part of that is the incentives and rewards as well. And part of that is just bringing in new team members as well, so that way we can actually go and do these things because we are a pretty small team at the moment. So it's a bit tough to try and do so many things. Um, so yeah, that's how we're thinking about AI. And I guess like in a perfect world, what we would do, like, we've thought about this a little bit, but it definitely needs more investigation. Is there are a ton of tools that are out at the moment. Like Midjourney, of course, is
Mhm.
is the big one right now. I think these are more suited for like real photorealistic images because there's more of those than there is cartoon content out there on the internet. Because it's just photos of real people and stuff that they merge right in terms of like their data sets. Um, but I think in a perfect world, what we would do is we would train one of these models on lazy lions, and then just provide an easy like a channel or a simple website that people can go to as part of the community, put in the text, and then it'll spit out an image, or like what would be even better is a video, an animated short, and then people, community members could just edit that. Like I don't think AI is like, yeah, again, this is something we have to look into further, but high level, I think that would be really cool. And then the value would be any community member can go and just type in a few words,
Yeah.
right? Type in their Lazy Lion NFT ID, and then boom, they've got ID content. They've got content based on their IP. They can share it out. We've seen the like people get, like these things get engagement. Obviously, it's pretty cool seeing lazy lions in the various forms in 3D. Or you could obviously do it in other forms too. Um, so yeah, that's how we're thinking about AI.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I, I guess the next question is sort of similar, well, to a degree, but we've got another question from North Shore. This is about the poll that you posted out on Twitter, asking if does Lazy Lions need more custom-made GIFs? Um,
Mm.
you know, according to the poll votes, it's pretty evident that people do want more custom-made GIFs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I was just keen to see the reaction. Yeah, definitely people want to see more custom made gifts. And it could just be as simple as like, let's get, a list from everybody in terms of what famous gifts they want to see replicated into Lazy Lion style. And then,
Hmm.
we get the team on it. I guess it just goes back to we're very focused on that Q2 objective right now. And we need to grow the team. That's what it comes down to, right? And we have the resources to be able to grow the team. We need to find the right team members, right? And we're not going to rush as well. It's like that whole quick to hire, I mean, slow to hire, quick to fire kind of thing. Like we need to find the right people to the team. And I'm glad, with Glitches Army, we were able to find some, fantastic people who have joined in, and obviously the quality that everybody got to see. So in short, like, yeah, definitely keen to bring this to life. Let's just see when it makes sense, when we have the capacity to do it.
Got a question, well, two questions from Moonshot. One is, will Glitches Generals need an army, and can we obtain these soldiers by burning young and old cubs, along with some amount of dark energy?
I'm curious, and I'm just gonna like look at Cabana as well. Yeah, because this has been, yeah, I know a lot of people got really like fire heavy and stuff, and it's like stay away from the matches, guys. But uh, like, would you want to see some kind of mechanism where you can burn other cubs and get a dark, get an army version because they could, obviously that might tie into the story, or burn a bungalow and get Glitch's cave or something like that.
Everyone's gonna get their matches out here.
Oh my God. This guy with the
Yeah, so there you go.
that's how you play the Discord if you could, hey.
Burn all the
But
cubs.
everything.
Why do they do? Man, poor cubs. They don't deserve that.
Uh,
Um,
well, it's
yes.
one thing that we're looking at with rewards,
Mm.
is if we wanted to do staking, obviously like migrating contracts is something that's happening in the space right now. Some are doing it in a way that's getting, a bit questionable. Others, have done it quite successfully. One of the things that it obviously does bring in royalties, which is a large motivator for why a lot of projects are obviously doing it. But then it also, is a chance for us to look at the contract, upgrade it, make it upgradable for future as well. Uh, add new features into it, things like staking. Like, if we were able to do it again, the way we did diamond pools, would we have put elements of that on chain? I think we would have, right? Obviously, back then, it was something that you know, we launched pretty early on, so we don't have that feature in, and the contract isn't upgradable, so it's immutable. So, but we could make it an upgradable version. Just essentially meaning that if we wanted to add new features into the Lazy Lions contract, because over time shit changes, and it's hard to predict everything that's going to happen from, day one, we could make the contract upgradable so that we could add new features to it.
Hmm.
Are we in different channels? My bad. Sorry. Which channel should we use as the main one? Whatever you guys would prefer.
I think it makes well. I think the easiest thing would be there's the actual
To team
channel
everyone up.
in the stage itself where we can all
Got it.
communicate. Um, but so we're not split up. But there were something. Well, obviously they were talking about the burn in Cabana Bar, so some of them said yes. Nick Nice said yes. Trap Soul burn all cubs. So that's a bit extreme, but yeah, nice to see the perspective. Guess we lost that. Oh, never mind. Thought we lost you there.
Nah, right myself. It's all good.
Nice.
Um,
Okay. Well, that was. I think there's been some more questions from the document that we have, so I'll go ahead and read the channel now and finalize a few of the others. So we've got a question from Prans. Um, some say Glitch is bad, but others say he's a hero. Is there going to be a chance that Glitch will be having his own AMA stage? Uh,
Look, yeah, that's a cool question, right? Because and it's something that we've been thinking about. This was earlier on with AI. And, we saw Azuki do this as well, with like their Bobu chat thing, and I was actually speaking with this with Aaron, right? And it's like, if you think about it historically, like you've always, and if you've ever wanted to, I'm a massive Batman fan, right? Like I pretty much am the Batman guys. I'm sorry, but like, no, just like I've always other people too. Um and it's like if you ever wanted to interact with it, sure you had the video games, right, which were pretty cool, but like for the most part with content you're just watching, right? But you've never really had a chance to like actually like have a chat with Batman, right? And you can see that with like kids when they or just like us like younger days or even just now, right? Like when you go to things like Disneyland or movie world or whatever it is, you see them like in real life,
mm,
it's such a huge moment because it's like, damn, I can actually like talk to this person. And obviously that has its drawbacks because it's how do you make sure it's on brand, it's on point, it's going to be authentic, it's expensive, yada yada. But with AI, with chatbots and things like that, like and that's where it gets like really exciting when you think about the future and like the intersection of AI, Web3, these brands where we do have these characters, they're community driven as well, because the IP is decentralized, democratized even, and it's like, okay, what if we train these data sets, this AI, with who Glitch really is, right? And then anyone can just have conversations with them. And then it's like, if we take it a step further, what if community members have the ability to create their own content with AI easily and then reference Glitch and be like, hey, I want Lazy Lion 5385 ID um to be in a to be on a at the Cabana Bar with Glitch, and Glitch is making a bad joke, and everyone's sort of cringe, and there's the mascot line over there, and that's it, and it just generates like a video, and then it's like, what if you go a step further than that, and it's like anyone in the community is able to train their own ID and give it its own character, right? So that way anyone can interact with each other's NFT even when they're not there, and they're using it in content too. And then it's like, what if the team also like an official content reference that as well? Um, so it's like, just thinking about how that looks like, I think it's really exciting. And then things like where glitch could be present, because then it's just a matter of like plugging in the AI with a text to voice, and then it's like, wow, you've actually got it present, and then like how could we use that in things that we do? So that's where my mind sort of goes off to.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. There's so many. The crazy thing is that there's so many possibilities and it's just getting started too. So it's like,
exactly.
here's what this going to look like in 3 months, 6 months as well. And what are the possibilities there?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Moving on. So we got Nick 27 ETH. Does Glitch see himself as an antagonist in his story, or is he just an antagonist from our perspective? Glitch for president. Just a typical Nick comment. Um,
I
I
think,
think yeah, go for it.
yeah, go on.
I think he thinks he's the. I think he's the say. I think he thinks himself as the savior of the private island. I don't think he thinks he. I don't think he sees himself as a bad guy at all. I think he just loves
Yeah.
himself.
I mean, we know he trolls people, so um, definitely got that funny side.
Got a question from Uzi. Any alpha on when we could start to see the first steps on LL incursion into entertainment?
I think we've already seen some of the pre-steps, right? With like the 3D animated video and even the content with Glitch's Army and the way that the product was really designed to tell a story, right? It's like I think we're already like that's part of it. Um, for sure, we're looking at like right now with Q2 in terms of increasing demand. Like one of the big um, like projects is how do we get more content out there on social media? How do we get the website to be more of a storytelling device, even the interim website that we're looking at? Um, and how can we use that to showcase all this content? Um, that's what we're focused on for Q2. How we create that content, it could be, like we've obviously got people in the team that we're or the contractors, like George that we're working with as well with 3D animation. We've got other 2D animators as well. We released that 2D video and Discord, so it's like we can get content out like that. Um, I spoke about before how we've spoken with story writers, producers as well. So I get for us, it's a matter of picking the story writers or the production houses or whoever that we go with. Um, Creating those short stories first. That's like the thinking, so we can build up the proof of audience. Um, and yeah, getting that content out there, and then getting more and more viewers in, and then eventually, once we have that kind of leverage, then taking it to to studios or whatever it is to get the thing um, on the big screen. But uh, that's the thinking with how we'll get more content out.
Yeah. Just reading through the AMA Ask Questions channel, there are a couple more questions that we can get through, and then we can look at, I guess bringing some people up as well, Ash, if anyone wants to come up and have a chat.
Absolutely. If anyone
Yeah,
wants to request right now, definitely feel free
yeah,
to. I mean, these are like we've said before, like this is a bit more intimate because it's really just Lazy Lions members. It's not like a Twitter AMA or everyone else. So if that changes anything and people feel a bit more comfortable or want
yeah,
to ask questions that wouldn't ask otherwise, because people outside of the community looking in potentially,
yeah.
or just whatever, or just want to come up and hang.
Perfect. So we got a question from DJC. So how will the funds from DE be used to benefit the project and community? I think we've touched on that already in terms of like what we're looking to do for the next for Q2. But yeah,
Yeah, I
actually,
mean, obviously, even things like Blizzard's Army, Dark Angel, like um, everyone that we hire out and stuff, everyone has to get paid, right? And all this content and stuff like that. So it's
mhm,
like, that was a fair amount of budget that went towards that alone. But like with what is left over, it's pretty much it is all being like redeployed to
mhm.
bringing people into the team.
Yep.
Yeah, bringing people to the team and get more content out there and increase demand from everybody else in the Web3 community. And I mean that not in a like let's go spend marketing or thing like that. No, it's really because like spoken about this. You guys probably see it. Like there's a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we want to do. There are some things that we've chosen as we are doing in Q2, but we need more people to be able to do it. It just comes down to that. We need more people.
Yep. Great. Got a question from BKD. Will ordinals be considered in Awards 3.0? Or what will their role in the project be apart from the law? So we do.
Was this
Yeah. Sorry.
sorry? Ask the question again.
Will ordinals be considered in Rewards 3.0?
Got it. Okay. Yeah, they're on Bitcoin. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like there's no like tech interface or something to be able to connect them. They do have the IP rights. Like the IP rights are there. Obviously, they're really exclusive collectibles as well, and they are going to be part of the overall Lazy Lion story. Yes, in terms of like accumulating raw points, um, there are going to be raw points given for the Dark Energy, right? And so anyone um, who I just want to make sure I get this right. So because it's part of the comms, obviously the amount of dark energy everyone has, that'll you'll get raw points as like a one-off for that for being part of it, and then also for those who have the generals, and so it'll be those who uh, redeem those passes, and then which Ethereum address does that, there'll be a like a bulk add amount of raw points.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. DJC is asking, you mentioned rewarding LL holders is a high priority. How are you thinking about doing that, and what can we expect short term?
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing that the brand project needs to do, which will reward holders as well, right, is building out more content for Lazy Lions with the story, thus getting more people from outside the community as well to be joining in, increases demand, which obviously has a benefit for a lot of things because more people will get to see the content. Things like, we know floor price and things like that are important as well, no doubt. And that this would be like like a side effect of doing that.
Awesome. I think.
And another thing is like, and this is something that we're thinking about right now. I know we've had conversations about this. Is how do we, if we look at rewards? Yes, there are reward points as well. Like, do we look at some kind of staking mechanism where for holding tokens and putting them up for stakes, you could potentially unlock other NFTs or that play a part in the story. Like maybe that's a cool way to get out the lionesses. We just got to think about how to do it right.
Yep. We've got our Queen Frankie up on stage as well. She requested to come up and speak, so go ahead, ask any questions. Feel free to chat.
I was just curious who's behind the Twitter Lazy Lions account.
That's somebody. That's one of our marketers in the team.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe it was you, Nine. I was just gonna officially introduce myself so that
Oh, no.
you didn't call me king again if it was you.
No, that's fine.
But
We've definitely. Sorry, we've passed that feedback on, so that wouldn't happen again. Yeah, I'll definitely.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing you guys. I just wanted to say, congratulations on the whole, Bitcoin ordinal Lazy Lion mint. I think that was really cool way to get everybody engaged, and I just see everyone still roaring on Twitter every day, and it just makes me excited to be a lion. So that's it. Kudos to you guys.
Appreciate you, Queen, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not mentioned passed on that feedback as well, but yeah, no, the ordinals. I mean, we still got the whole redeeming for the actual ordinals themselves left, which is going to be super exciting. But yeah, it's been great so far.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Queen, for coming up.
Yeah, always good to have you up. And feel free to stay up as well if you'd like, or if anyone else would like to um, request to come up and ask any questions, or feel free to just post them in. Um,
Okay. Cool.
Curious to get everyone's thoughts on the AI thing as well, and not just the AI thing, but also the like just thoughts on staking in general too.
Just gonna check the chat.
Lazy. It's a question about lazy merch, and so that's all sold out. Hey, so that pretty much
Lazy
sold out
Series
on
One.
the
Yeah, that's.
the Lazy Series one.
Uh-huh.
There's
Cool.
definitely been requests for like more apparel and things like that. But it's just not a focus right now with all the other things that we have planned. And it just comes down to we just need more people to join the we need to find more of the right people to join the team. So we're going to be posting out those job ads. It's exciting. We have the resources to do this. That's again like with the Glitches Army recent mint. Like again, pretty much like all the funds and some are going into being able to do this, so we can create more content. Even simple things like the gifts, for example. Like it's because we're such a lean team right now, even a project like that, it's a little bit tough with everything else that we have ongoing right now, right? So it's like we need more people to come into the team to be able to do the things that we've already got planned. And then so, adding anything else is just yeah, we need to get more people into the team first,
Yeah.
which again is exciting because it's like, we have the resources to do it. It's just a matter of finding the right people and doesn't feel like there's a shortage of um, people who are keen. We just got to find the right people.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that sort of flows into DJC's question. He's asking about, is there a timeline or a goal set by when we would like to bring these people in? Um,
Today, yesterday,
yeah,
like like ASAP. It's ASAP. It's just one of those, like what I found as well, and speaking with Steve about this is, he obviously heads up ops, and he's got a ton of experience in terms of scaling teams, the and like scaling like startups as well. It's like we don't want to rush bringing on people too. And sometimes everything's all great, and then people come in and just doesn't click sometimes as well. It's just the
mm,
reality of business too, sadly. Well, not sad. It is what it is. Just keep moving on. Um, so yeah, I mean, like the answer is like ASAP. Um, yeah,
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, there's a couple more questions, and we'll just get through them, and then we can see if anybody wants to come up or have a chat, and we can
hmm
do that. So I know the team prefers not to rush into decisions, but the speed which we move is concerning. What steps are we taking not to rush, but still maintain a good pace for decision making and delivering utilities?
Hmm.
I feel like with that, it's more of like we know that we can definitely move at very fast pace. Just looking at Glitch's army and how
Yeah, yeah,
turnaround on that, given the circumstances. Um, I think right now it's more about what we've touched on is just having the right people to be able to do more things. Once we've made the decisions to do them. Um,
yeah.
ultimately,
Like, yeah, I agree. I mean, like even with yeah, it's definitely like we touched on that. Yeah, like growing the team will be great because we can do more. Um, we're pretty focused right now on like that goal for Q2 of current increasing demand
yeah,
from new members as well. And so, there are a few like components to that and got our like project set for that. There's obviously a ton of content. We need to be upgrading the brand across the board, the website, the social media, all those things. Rewards is going to be a big part of that as well. Can we introduce some incentives as well? So that way, yes, like we're increasing demand and getting more people in, but during the meantime, especially on like this part of the cycle as well, like how can we incentivize people even further to hold those? And of course, increasing demand and creating things like the content and going, building closer and closer to our vision overall, which is what everything really leads to, will help with that. But there are like these key components. So it's like, hiring for the team, increasing that reach that we have of everybody else in Twitter, and there are a few ways that we can do that. Um, increasing the incentives so that way people want to hold for even longer as well. And then also things like, um, yeah, community sentiment within has been really positive since Glitch's Army. How do we go even further with that? And, so yeah, like those focuses are already pretty clear. Um, it's yeah, like I mentioned, I think we can when we need to move quick on something, we move pretty quick. And I think when we'll look back at this with the ordinals as well, like we did get in like sub 1 mil with the inscriptions, and like if you look at, I'm just jumping on ordinals.com right now, and you can see the latest block. Click on the latest block, the latest inscription. It's like at 1.1 mil right now as well. So since the last couple of days, it's already been a couple. It's been over 100,000
mm,
um, new inscriptions, and I think this number is just going to continue to rise as well, right? So like, if you look back at it, like the ordinals that we minted pretty early,
mm.
um, even though I think what's obviously is going to be more important, of course, is going to be the actual content and IP that's on there. But yeah,
Great. I guess we got one last question from DJC. So are you still actively having conversations with Web2 brands about partnerships or collaborations to benefit the project reach and entertainment brand? Or that could tie in with rewards 3.0 or in real life merch, in real life events and merch.
Uh, I mean, yes, no, yeah. Like, of course we are. There's like some
Mm.
like pretty you know pretty huge ones as well. Thinking about the right way we can do things with them. We can't say
Mhm.
much, obviously, again, because it's like, especially when we're talking about like these gigantic ones, they're, like there's NDAs and things. But I'm sure we'll see stuff over time come out. But yeah, we're thinking about what's the right way to do things, especially because a lot of the time it involves like a sale, right? And it's like, we don't have any plans of doing another mint right now. So, like we're super focused on, growing the team, getting more content out, like I mentioned with those goals for Q2, right? We're super focused on that right now. But then it's like, and we see this because sometimes it turns out to be like a non-event. Like if we do something and it's, it doesn't involve a mint, then and it involves a partner, it's sometimes, it has to be the right partner, right? And yeah, like right now, if it doesn't help us with
Yeah.
the Q2 focus, we're not really focused on it. That's what it comes down to.
Feels like all incentives need to align and needs to be, incentives for
Yeah,
Lazy Lions, the partner, and the community as well all need to make sense for it to be
correct.
successful. Um, okay, cool. I think that's
Correct.
every. I think
Like I
that's
think,
everything.
like
Yeah,
yeah, like even things with like the NBA, right? Like we're able to get everybody free tickets, we're able to get exposure
yeah,
for Lazy
correct.
Lions. Lazy Lions was able to feature at the NBA. It was the first team to be there properly on the main court. We had it on the
Hmm.
Jumbotron. Members got, like we mentioned, so not only just the free tickets. I'm sure we weren't able to, one of the pieces of feedback was like it was only a subset. Like, getting all 8,000 holders was always gonna, that's not gonna be wasn't gonna be realistic. Um, but it's like, even that, like sometimes, you know, that I think looking back at it, that was like a really cool thing that happened, even
Hmm.
just as a branding exercise. But it's tough to always hit the mark with those type of things as well. I feel like sometimes the expectations with partners are that they're, we're going to announce something and everybody's just going to go to Valhalla. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be this crazy, like everybody gets like these new Nike, Air Jordans custom made, shipped with NFTs that are, worth 10 ETH as well attached to them, things like that. Like there's stuff like the expectations, I mean, are just like so like a very high with partnerships overall. And
Mhm.
and we received that feedback. Like, this is just feedback that we've gotten, not to make it a negative thing, but just feedback that we've gotten like with partnerships not hitting the mark. So it's like, okay, we got to be realistic about what is realistic. And then again, it's like going back to it for us, like right now with what the project goals are for Q2, increasing demand from new members that involves, a ton of new content coming out, and those things that we've mentioned. Do the partnership things make sense? It has to make sense for us to do it. Yeah.
Mhm. I totally agree.
Yeah. Good question.
Hmm. That was I guess that was everything in the AMA channel. So if anybody wants to come up and just have a general chat about anything else, or if you have some questions you'd like to ask, you can continue to ask them in the AMA channel or come up on stage, and
Yeah,
we can definitely talk.
sure. I just want to give a shout out as well to like everyone who's been creating content and like
Hmm.
still like just active and sharing things, whether it's AI content or like I know there are a few members who have been creating a lot of this as well. I know Cryptoxian, like for example, has been sharing out a lot of these things. Like shout out to Uzi as well, who's like constantly been creating super cool tools. I shared out. I don't think it's a live tool just yet, but like a lot of people got really excited about that as well. So no pressure, King. Um, but it's something that we're looking at in terms of like the roles, and I'll be posting this out as well. And it doesn't have to, we evidently as we look to increase reach, it's probably uh, like one of the metrics that we're looking at with people is like um, their ability to increase Lazy Lion's reach, right? So it's probably going to be someone from outside the community, but we're thinking about like how, um, especially with the new website, right? Nick, like in terms of content, how
Hmm.
can we introduce community content on the website? So it's just like he's like from Lazy Lions, and you can see community content from members.
Hmm.
Um, like if you almost think about it as like a kind of like Apple TV kind of style website where there are like tiles and they're like community members and it's like generated content. I think that could be really cool to just add in.
Creating like a
Um,
platform, right, for to help those that are already creating existing content but just need somewhere to put it, somewhere to get some eyes or eyeballs on it. Is
Correct, and it's just as simple as you go on, choose your tile and then put the content that you've got there, and then you post it up there. Somebody from the team has a quick review. You've got to be a lazy member, lazy NFT holder. Sorry to be able to post. It doesn't have to be super complicated, and we've almost got like all this content on the website too. And then we can, when you post it up there, like you're pretty much getting permission for that in the account, so that way we're all good. We can post that out on like Instagram, for example. And then it's not only is the community members who are creating this content getting more eyeballs on it, because I know this is something that we've been asked out a lot, like, hey, how can we get the main account retweeting or sharing these things? I think it's a great idea, and I think it fits in with Lazy Lions creating even more content. So then that way, as a team, if we're building these animated shorts, these images and things like that, and we're doing it at a like a certain bar that we need to reach, but obviously we're just like anyone's generated content. Not saying that obviously it isn't high quality. Like this, there are some things which are like absolutely high quality, but there's no like anyone can just create whatever they want, just post it up, and and then there's for anyone who wants to like consume the brand, whether it's people from within the community, people from within Web3, or just like one of the purposes of the website obviously is just people who are interested in these kind of entertainment brands. And want to understand the story as well. They can just jump on and see all this content, and then from that get an understanding of like, oh, like that's where some of the education can happen. It's like, all right, I get it. Like it's not just the this one single company that's creating uh, content and posting it out, but because the IP is decentralized, anyone can then create this content as well. So and actually own the IP rights. So there's more of a reason to just rather than just user generate content in the past with traditional brands, which a lot of people do anyways, but now it's like you can actually own the IP rights too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I mean, doesn't seem like anybody else has requested. Just check if there's any messages in Cabana Bar.
We're a little bit over anyway, so it's like
Yeah.
being respectful of everyone's time. Hey,
This was I guess this was a great MMA. Thanks for all the questions that you guys threw in. It's definitely good for us to read through them.
for
As well.
sure.
Yeah.
I always want to like we should throw some incentives towards because growing the team, like we said, like we're super focused on like we're excited. Like it's exciting. I'm excited to like meet it like new members into the team. Like I can't say I mean I like how it's so much of a pleasure just adding like four of all like really top quality team members and working with people, right? Because then we're able to bring in like I know for us especially, it's like we're able to bring in like what we have in our vision to life in the way that we actually want to see it, right? Like Glitch's Army, Dark Energy, like the way that came out, and it's like the character and the way everyone was able to experience Glitch, and the fact that it was like a myth, but it was like the product of it as well, like with the game element and how it was all tied in with the story and the videos and everything just matched up. Like we want to keep doing more and more of that, right? And bringing it out. And we need the right people in the team, obviously, to be able to do that. So, and we should just like throw some incentives. Like if anybody knows someone, if the right person,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
So
bounty
like,
hunter.
yeah, I know. Because we definitely would like to bring in these people ASAP. So I guess like behind the scenes, which is, part of what the Discord AMA is about. Like that's what we're super super focused on,
Yeah.
right now. So,
With the goal
yeah,
of expanding reach, right? At the end of the day.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna come on and have a purpose.
Okay. Great. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for today. Thank you to all the kings and queens that tuned in. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. Kings, Queens. Have
Cheers.
a if you're at MCNYC, enjoy. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend.
Have fun.